still without a Speaker of the House. California Congressman Kevin McCarthy got the most votes from Republicans during 3 rounds of voting, but he didn't get enough required for a majority of 218 to be named Speaker. House plans to reconvene at noon today to continue the process. Nothing is allowed to happen, including swearing in members, until a Speaker is chosen. Democrats, for their part, remain united, every member voting for Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries each vote. Joining us this morning to talk about what he witnessed in the House chamber yesterday is Massachusetts Congressman Democrat Jake Auchincloss. Congressman, good morning to you. What were you and your fellow Democrats thinking as you watched all of this play out, not once, not twice, but 3 times?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. The House GOP is in complete disarray. I'm starting my 2nd term in Congress now. I started my 1st term with an insurrection egged on by the extreme wing of the House GOP. I'm starting my 2nd term witnessing a rebellion from the MAGA wing of the GOP against their own leadership. This disarray is preventing us from electing a new speaker, from formalizing our rules package, and from getting to work on the business of the American people. And the disarray needs to end, because I'm not here in Congress to do roll call votes. I'm here in Congress to get my job done. And the House GOP's talentless leadership is preventing us from doing that.
It seems like those supporting McCarthy and the Republican hardliners you mentioned who are against him, sounds like they're going to plan to stand their ground again today. Any guess as to which side might blink first here, or how this might get resolved?
I don't know. Anybody who tells you that they know is spinning tall tales. We're on uncharted waters. It has been a century since a floor vote for Speaker played out like this. Here's what's not going to change, though. What's not going to change is that regardless of who the House GOP ends up rallying behind, that individual is going to wake up in the morning and still be at a fork in the road. The same fork in the road that the House GOP has been at for the last 3 terms. And that is, do they want to be a party of governance that talks about lowering costs for the American people, that talks about clean energy independence, that talks about competition with the Chinese Communist Party? Or do they want to be the party of Donald Trump, that engages in political conspiracies, that bends the knee to one individual in Mar-a-Lago, and that engages in political theatrics designed to embarrass Joe Biden but not actually help Americans? That fork in the road exists regardless of who is the leader of the GOP.
What does it say about the setup? Because I think that the majority of Republicans would like Kevin McCarthy. They would like to do some of the things that you mentioned there. But you have 20 or so who are those hardliners who continue to resist Kevin McCarthy. What does it say about the setup and the structure right now, where you have the majority who want something to happen, but then you know just 20 people can hold the thing up?
The Republicans have the same exact majority that Democrats had 2 years ago. What did Democrats do with that majority? Well, we had the most bipartisan, most productive Congress in living memory. Infrastructure, Ukraine aid, gun safety legislation, investments in science and semiconductors, Electoral Count Act reform. Republicans haven't even gotten out of the starting gate yet. They have the same margins that we had. So it just points to the disarray within their own ranks, and their extreme right wing isn't interested in governing. They want to create gridlock and then point to that gridlock as a reason why they're right. And that kind of nihilism does not serve the American people.
There was some talk, some speculation, Congressman, and I know you heard it, that some Republicans might reach out to Democrats to get them to vote for a more moderate Republican as Speaker and work together along those lines. Does that scenario have any shot?
I don't know. You're going to hear me say that a lot when it comes to this chessboard that we're looking at right now, because we're in uncharted territory. What I'll say is this. Looking at it from first principles, yesterday, for 3 straight votes, the person on the House floor who got the most votes to be Speaker was Hakeem Jeffries, 212 votes, every single Democrat. 6 more votes and he becomes the Speaker of the House. I would encourage my moderate GOP colleagues to think about whether they can come and cross the aisle and support an individual who has crisscrossed the country speaking to voters, who is a dynamic young leader, who has the confidence of his caucus, who has a demonstrated bipartisan track record, to see if we can work together to get things done for the American people. Right now, Hakeem is the one who's polling the highest on the House floor.
And you mentioned nothing can get done until a new speaker is appointed, right down to swearing in the membership. How worried are you about this dragging on, and how long do you think it might go on? I know you say, well, nobody really knows, but do you think this could go on for days, or is a resolution somewhere on the horizon?
It could, and I'm deeply concerned about it. Let's be clear. Right now, We are operating under Thomas Jefferson's rules in the House of Representatives. We don't have a rules package. We don't have a speaker. We haven't even sworn in members yet. If there were a crisis that required a congressional response, we would be handcuffed in delivering that. This is serious. This undermines governance, and the House GOP is impeding the ability of a core institution of American democracy to do its job. They need to get their house in order. This is affecting my constituents and theirs.
All right, we'll see what happens again when the vote resumes again today. Another round starts at noon. Congressman Jake Auchincloss, appreciate your time this morning, Congressman. Thanks so much.
Good to be with you.